From Guild Mortgage. We are coming live from our studio in the offices here. Just in case you've never been here, we do have kind of a cool place. We bring a lot of fun people in. We really don't have a name for our podcast yet. We've just been bringing people on. I'm starting to think we're going to start calling it maybe the Real Estate Roller Coaster Podcast, for something silly. Just because most of the people that we're bringing on are from the real estate industry. I might have some wacky people on at some point, but most of the people that I deal with all the time are real estate folks, in some form of that. Today we got a special guest, Mr. Don Arnold, who is one of the higher ups, bigwigs, executives, regionals. I know you got a bunch of titles.
Real close to the top.
Yeah. At Highland Homes, which is a Texas-based company. Y'all only build in Texas? Only build in Texas. So Don is here today. He and I have known each other for a while, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But he's going to tell us a little bit about Highland Homes, and there are some things that we're going to contextually bring together, and then we've got some other fun topics to talk about. But it's like when you get to sit down with somebody that is strictly Texas and builds a bunch of homes in Texas. Like I don't think people really know how big Highlands is just in Texas. Right? How many homes are y'all going to build in 2026? And then what does 2027 look like? Just a snapshot.
Yeah. So in Dallas-Fort Worth, it's going to be about 16 to 1,800.
16 to 1,800.
And then statewide, we're in all 5 major markets, right? Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. And we built up to 4,000 homes in the past. We'll probably be at about 3,400 this year.
That is a lot of homes.
Yeah, and it puts us in the past, it's been somewhere around the 25th to the 29th largest builder in the country.
And Texas.
And we're privately held builder here in Texas.
Yeah, family owned.
Yeah, it was started by. It's very interesting.
Just a touch. Give everybody a touch.
It's an amazing story.
Company.
There's the founder, Jean Ann Brock, had a brother 10 years older than her that was a Wall Street lawyer. He had a really great job over there. And she called him one day and said, "Rod, you got to come down here. We're going to start a home building business."
In Texas.
And so he cashed in his 401k. At the time, it was something crazy like $40,000. This was 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they came down, they started building some houses. They built, I think it was over in Rowlett where they opened up. And that was 40 years ago. The cool thing about the story is that Jean Ann had worked for another mean-spirited builder here in Dallas-Fort Worth who just didn't treat the customer right.
Are they still in business?
No, they didn't treat the employees right. But they did. They were one of the major builders at that time. And she just knew for sure how she did not want to do it.
Yeah.
And she said, "Let's get down here. Let's start a company." And the whole thing was founded on just treating people right and treating the employees right as well, right? So it's always been considered one of the greatest, the best places to work in Texas. And we always win those things of like everybody wishes they could work at Highland.
Yeah.
So
where the employees go in and vote, all the big
I think that thing we're always like way up 15th, 16th best place in Texas to work. Yeah. And so it's a really good company. I've been in this business my whole life. Right? I mean, I got into the business right out of college when I was 22. And my whole career, I had longed to work for a place like Highland. I just didn't even know it's just, when I came to work here 10 years ago, I remember every time we'd have some situation with a lender or a home buyer or a title company or, a real estate agent, and they would solve the problem and I'd go, "Oh, that's so refreshing, that is amazing that they solved that way."
Instead of pushing it under the rug, so to say.
Well,
just don't worry about it.
They just did the right thing. They just did what was the right thing to do. And I loved that from the very first day I started here. I knew they were good. I had no idea that they were that committed. Thing I worried about was, do they have the discipline to really be a great home builder? Because they're so nice, right? And
to make it through the market.
But sure enough, they just hire all the right people. It's been they've got all the really intense disciplines and skill level to deliver the great homes that we're famous for.
That's super cool. Okay, so you said you've been in the business since you were 22. Give us the origin story. How does Don get from 22 years old to Highlands in the past 10 years? I love an origin story.
Yeah, well,
so can you give us a piece? Give us a taste.
I was like in my first year of doing an MBA program, graduate business, and didn't know what I wanted to do as young, right? Just graduated from college, went into the MBA program, and my dad, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I would call home and go, I'm not really sure why I'm doing this. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he says, I was talking to Joe. My dad has a twin brother, Joe. They couldn't be more different, right? They're not twins in any way, shape, or form, right? But they just born on the same day. Because Joe's got a real estate business up in Denver, and he's helping builders. So you should go up, you should talk to him and see. So long story short, I went to work for Joe, and he was closing out homes for volume builders. Like you'd have these neighborhoods where there'd be 7 or 8 houses left over, and the builder would move their staff.
Yeah.
And they hired Joe to staff the model and the last remaining specs. And so he put me out there, and lo and behold, I started selling the house. Didn't know what I was doing, and just started selling the houses. And that's how I got started.
Okay.
Couldn't stand Joe.
Your uncle.
I loved him, but I just couldn't stand working for him. I got married in that same time frame.
Is he still on Earth?
No, he's dead.
Okay, just checking.
I can say anything.
Don't let Joe hear the podcast.
He still has family, so I hope they don't hear it. Yeah, so the funny thing is I moved back to my home state of New Mexico, got married, moved back to New Mexico, and settled in Albuquerque, and went to work for a builder that was like in a bedroom community of Albuquerque called Rio Rancho. And I worked there 11 years in on-site sales and a little bit of management at the end. Transferred to Centex. I got a job with Centex in Albuquerque.
Okay.
They promoted me to management role, so I got transferred to Houston, where I was the vice president of sales and marketing for the Houston division, and then they got transferred up here in 2003, and that's how I came to be in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Okay.
And then the last 10 years, I've worked for Highland, and it's been a dream. It's been really, really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, in the world of Centex to Highland, that's a very different product.
Very different.
Yeah. In besides the difference in construction, but even from Albuquerque, that's adobe, stucco, all that. You come to Texas, now it's all sticks and bricks because all the different regions build with what they have available, right? With what they're surrounding.
Yeah.
Like in the desert, obviously they don't make a lot of bricks.
That's right.
They don't build a lot of log homes.
Stucco. Everything's stucco.
Everything's stucco. All right, so now Highlands, what is an average price point? What is the average and let's just say DFW for now, but I'm curious as to what they are around the other, because is San Antonio less expensive than DFW, or is Houston less expensive than Austin? I'm assuming so, but I don't know, because Austin's more expensive than everything in Texas.
Yeah, but not much. Just the factor is predominantly just the lot cost.
Okay.
In those different markets, right?
Sure.
But our offering, our product that we build in all 5 of those markets is still a quality product. It's kind of more of a move up. Mm-hmm. Like to give you an example, I'm over almost all the communities in the North Division, which is the Dallas North Tollway, and kind of like 380 and North, all the development that's going up in Salina, Aubrey, Frisco.
Where it's blowing up.
Yeah, Prosper. So I've got all those neighborhoods. And we have many of our neighborhoods that are up there. I've got 24 neighborhoods that I oversee, and I would say that about 10 of those pretty much start at $1 million. Yeah, so it's a really, really nice.
These aren't first-time home buyer prices.
But we also build on 40-foot wide lots, 50-foot wide lots, 60-foot wide lots, and And in that product line, we'll start in the mid to high 4s.
Okay.
And go up to, like 650 to 7.
Yeah.
And so it just depends on where we are and which community we're in.
Okay.
So we have a broad product line, but all of it is associated with quality. A little bit more luxury finish for a volume builder.
In this market, based on, we're halfway through the year, right? Based on everything that we've seen with rates, and now, of course, we've got Fed presidents talking about, we may raise the interest rate, if the inflation doesn't come down. We're on this silly roller coaster of thought processes, when everybody thought that Warsh would come in and lower interest rates, and that was the whole reason Trump was putting him in office, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And now we are here in the world of building. What does that change anything as far as y'all's forecast for what you're going to do next year? Do y'all expect the same in 2027 as you are seeing in 2026?
Great question. I would say yes. We are hopeful that it'll really take off. We feel that there are millions of people across the country that have been waiting to buy a house, and they've been waiting to buy a house.
Yeah.
And now they really want to just I'm tired of waiting.
Yeah,
I'm going to go buy a house.
Yeah.
So when the animal spirits get released and everybody gets out and starts doing that, we would be anticipating that the market is going to get better. 27 should be a little better than 26, but we are cautiously assuming that it's going to be the same. So planning for both, and that's kind of hard to do because if it really takes off, you need a whole lot of lots.
Sure.
And we make decisions on the land position that we have out in front of us. If you're doing almost 2,000 homes a year,
it's a lot of dirt.
You've got to have all that dirt ready.
And it's 2 years, right?
I would
get
say
it shovel ready.
If you and I went out and said, "Hey, let's find a parcel, that we can develop and then sell to Highland so that they can have houses that would close, at the end of 27, because that's about how long that would take.
Yeah.
Maybe middle of 28.
Easy.
Right. So it is way out. So a lot of our decisions on what we're going to do have to do with, what we anticipate the amount of units that we're going to put in the ground and start that year and close. So this year has been okay, but man, what a dogfight, right? The people are still there. The demand is there, but people so confused. It's so choppy. They don't know if they should buy or not.
It's all, to me, in some of the media, some of the politics, how it flows through the system into social media, and then it finally makes it into mainstream media. Mainstream media is always a month or two behind, and then that flows to the public, right? If they're getting their media from the public,
right?
Or from TV, et cetera. It seems it's been a whole lot slower in the exchange of information from good to bad. So it's like we've just had this whole 6 months of just so information, and everybody's just waiting for a war to be over, right?
Right.
If the war's over, oil gets cheaper. Right. Which oil is cheaper now? And rates aren't coming down.
I just saw $2.99 on the gas pump. Yeah, so that's great.
So they're fixing the oil price, but now we are all waiting for the same thing. And if rates don't come down to unlock people's thought processes, right? We're selling 6.25 in interest rates, 6.375, 6.5. It's somewhere in that on a daily basis right now, And
how long has it been that way? 18 months?
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Just sitting there. And plenty of people are buying homes. Now, in the new home world, tell them what do y'all sell as the rate for qualified customers. Remember, this is not for everybody, right? He's not saying every person that walks in gets what's the rate that y'all sell right now just so people have a sense of it. For qualified customers,
Yeah.
lots of precursors, you got to have good credit, blah, blah, blah.
This is another great question because some builders are still doing buying forward commitments.
Yeah.
Which means they buy a block of money at a certain rate.
Yeah, we sell those.
Yeah. We did that for a long time at the beginning of the stimulation to
try to get people
to make it more affordable because the prices shot up, the rates shot up, and so we were doing a lot of that. Right now we are. It's advertised, especially at Highland's website, that we're doing $20,000 towards your closing costs or a rate buy down, however you want to use that. So if you're starting at 6.375, whatever that $20K can buy down is what they can get. And $20K right now would buy it down to maybe 5.25 if they wanted to use some of it towards closing costs and some of it towards rate. Everybody seems to be gunning for the 4.99 30-year fixed. It seems like 4.99 30-year fixed is like
that's what they all expect for
the
new
magic.
Builds, right?
I'm only going to buy a house if I can get 4.99, right? So that $20,000 gets very close to that.
Yeah, that definitely helps people get. And if they want to throw a little money at it themselves, they can get there.
Of course,
or
they can do an adjustable rate mortgage that's a lower rate, maybe a 2-1 buy down where they just have the reduced rate for the first couple of years, and maybe they have a chance to refinance later. Whatever. A lot of different options, but the good thing about buying a brand new home right now for a lot of the builders, and Highland included, does have money to lower the rate.
Yeah, to help.
Helps make it way more affordable.
Absolutely. So if you are thinking about buying a new home or going to a builder and you can get close to 4.99, you're in the low fives with their incentives. I mean, and hey, if you're buying a $1 million home, and you're touching low fives somewhere in there, don't quote us. We're doing napkin math based on what the incentives are. So, and just so everybody knows, I'm in the mortgage business. Rates change every day throughout the day. It doesn't matter what we say today, tomorrow could be a completely different day. Okay. So there's always that thought process, right? So that's good to hear though, in the sense that the general public, if everybody could get 4.99 when they buy a new home, that's what they're gunning for. You know what I mean? Yeah. I hear it all the time.
Right.
And in our world, 4.99 is not the market. Like if you just go buy a home, 4.99 is not the market to buy.
No,
it doesn't exist in the market.
It's 6.5, right?
Yeah,
Par.
6.25 to 6.5.
Right.
Right. So in that world, being able to buy a new home. Because you're getting the whole upgrades of everything, AI. Is there any AI stuff going into new homes? I didn't even think about that. But is there the smart home systems? Are they building all that yet?
Well, I think the homes were already really smart.
Okay.
They really were because they had all the stuff that people are looking for in the home automated systems.
Yeah.
That were kind of just part and parcel of a brand new house, right? Whether it's your garage door opening up for Amazon, or you're controlling your temperature from outside, or you're turning the music, whatever it is, those things were using Alexa to do everything for you. Those things were already there. What's happening now, I think, is a real advantage is in purchasing and estimating costs, and we're using that a lot now on the operations side of the home building process. The other thing, though, is a lot of the homes that we sell aren't built yet, right? So you have an inventory home that is like, maybe it's just a slab. The slab's been poured, but you come and you're ready to buy, and you're going to buy an unfinished house, or you see a
design
lot.
What you want.
You go choose a lot. You pick a plan and you go and start to build that. And but we don't have anything to see in that. AI has made it way easier to show what the finished product's going to be looking like. So it makes it a whole lot easier to immediately, know what the finishes are going to be.
Visualize
it, almost like walk through it and feel like you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And understand the floor plan. That's been a big boost.
Since y'all are a larger organization as a builder in Texas, you're building enough homes. Do y'all have a department that goes and says, okay, we're going to take AI and input it into this part of our business first, and we're going to input it into this part of our business? You know, you have all these companies that are popping up in the world of business that they're just helping smaller companies, medium companies, massive companies do that. Are the home builders, are they having to go through that process?
I don't know. I can't speak for others right now, but
you probably go to those shows though. You see those booths and
but
let me do that.
Let me tell you I know that our land department, who goes out and buys lots and negotiates for home sites with we're only in the best master plan communities in all of Dallas-Fort Worth, and that's one of the things that kind of like, where can you buy a Highland home? It's going to be in the A+ master plan communities only. We're not in any kind of fringe or BC, they call them, in the land business neighborhoods, which are not really quite that nice. We're in the upper strata of developments.
Because that's your price point.
That's our price. That's hence our quality focus
Reputation.
And our price point. And so the land guys are using AI like crazy. They've probably been the most avant-garde in within our company in implementing that stuff to a lot of information to gather.
That's interesting.
To focus in on all the different criteria, and it's helping them. I told you about purchasing already, told you about marketing already, and as far as being able to demonstrate. So each one of those in our company is kind of a silo that would on their own implement the AI.
Interesting. But you run a big sales team.
Correct.
Right? So what do you do with your people? Like how does the
So it's so simple
AI,
with us. I mean, we're just
because I'm in sales.
We're just a bunch of simple sales people, right? I mean, like
what am I going to do with this AI thing?
But
how's this going to help?
But frankly, we actually do use it a lot. But the funniest part is descriptions of the property. I mean, like it's simple things, right?
Yeah.
So like I just want to get a better description of the property in the multiple listing service or in Zillow or wherever the house is. And so little things like that, like they put that in there, it's like changed their lives. They used to spend all that time wondering if they're saying the right thing. They had a typo. That like is such a simple little thing, but it's where everybody enters the AI thing. Like
sure.
I need to write this email differently.
It saves time.
Yeah. The follow-up to the buyer based on what the buyer asked for when they were in the home. Like they'll describe, let's say you came into the house, you were looking, we had a conversation. I'm pretty much, through the time that we spent together, I know what you're looking for, a little bit about your family, maybe like what your obstacles are. You can just talk through that all in AI, and it just develops a follow-up system to you. Like it'll print out 4 or 5 emails to send to you over time and what events might happen. Maybe we get a cancellation. That's the exact plan that you want. And then so that email is already set up to like, hey, this house came back. So things like that are big time savers, right? Mm-hmm. And
efficiency. That's efficiency in sales, which is hard to do.
They network market with real estate agents just like you do in the lending business. Mm-hmm. They establish relationships with real estate agents because realtors would love to sell a Highland if they have a client that would work for. And they do use.
Do you have some favorite agents that you? Do you have people that you prefer to do business with? Or people, maybe I'll rephrase that because I don't.
What we do is we try to make ourselves the builder and the company that they would prefer to do business with, right? But yeah, I think
you have people that focus on just doing as much business as they can with Highlands because they've developed relationships with y'all.
Yeah, we do. I would say we do. We have probably every year after year after year, there's a group of, not the same guys, but some of them have been there for a long time. But like there is definitely like I'm going to try to sell as many of the Highland homes as I can. And it's always fascinating to me how much influence the real estate agent has on their clients. They would say, no, I just let them do what they want to do. But they really do influence their clients a lot.
Sure.
And so like if the person wants a carefree home ownership experience, know that it's going to be high quality, know that the house is going to live well, function well. It's a good value for the luxury that they're getting. They do influence their buyers because they know what the alternative is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they know what they're going to keep them out of harm's way and get them into an enjoyable, pleasant experience. And so, yeah, we have a group of guys that are always focusing on what they perceive to be the very best value for their clients.
Yeah. And I think most agents, whether they're part-time or they've been in the business a long time or they just started, they still want to build future clientele. If you sell somebody a bad home because you didn't do your due diligence, you're probably not getting a call back when you go and work your database if you're a realtor. You know what I'm saying? So if you're selling somebody a quality product, they're, and that person at some point in time, they're gonna move from their Highland homes. They're gonna do something else, whether it's downsize, upsize, move closer to family, whatever it is. I am doing loans 25 years in the business later now for grandkids of people that I did loans for in 02, 03. I mean, just as an example.
Isn't that a great feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it means you're doing things right, hopefully, right? That people trust you enough to say, hey, here's my little grandson, Bobby Jr., I need you to put him in a home,
Yes.
So, but yeah, but it's got to be the same thing for those agents, that group of agents that's doing stuff with Highlands are going, hey, we're putting people in a quality product. We're not worried about it. And with a good experience, they're going to come back to us 10 years from now when they do another one.
It's you don't look any more competitive or attractive as a builder or as a lender when people are out shopping a rate or trying to find the best buy, on a house. You don't get any money as a builder or as a lender for being super good. Absolutely, focused on doing the right thing. If you make a mistake, you make it right.
Yeah.
You don't get any money for that. You don't get any
at that point in time.
No. Now when
pays dividends in the future.
When they choose the cheaper deal, just whatever, and then they have to live with the bad feeling of, compared to like getting in the house and then they experience that being taken care of, and they become our family after they close, right?
Yeah.
Sell them the house, but we live with them for a long time after they move in because we're there to back up the house. But I was going to just say that there's no economic value in that, but the only thing you get is the grandchildren and the children and the referrals from the friend because they're like, hey, don't make a mistake. Go over here, buy this house.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the builder you want to work with.
Yeah.
And so that's the only consolation prize for doing a great job is referrals.
We built a home in 02, I believe. Yeah, in 02 in Heritage, which is now Alliance.
Yeah.
Builder's gone, defunct, They didn't make it through the credit crunch.
Right.
But lots of problems when we bought the home. They fixed everything. And we always said, hey, we'd build with them again. I mean, it wasn't their fault that all the foundation, got jacked. I mean, it's North Texas.
Right.
It's what we all see a lot of. But they fixed everything, didn't bust our chops. They said, absolutely, that tile's cracked. We're going to replace all this. I mean, they handled it with grace.
Right.
And we took it with grace. I mean, we weren't standing up and down, screaming and yelling. A couple of times they were like, hey, thank you for not, throwing stuff at us and, yelling and screaming at us when we're driving down the road in the neighborhood, But those warranty things years later mean something to that experience because typically most people only remember the good things. A lot of people forget all the bad things. It's kind of a funny thing what we think about in life. Time heals all wounds.
It does.
We remember a lot of the good things and we forgot a lot of the bad things.
That's true.
But let's do a couple of questions. Oh, you got something you want to add, please?
Let me say one last thing about, you opened up with where is this going in 27 or whatever?
Yeah, I was curious what your thoughts were on 27.
We don't know, nobody knows what the future holds and what we're going to be up against in the future. But the one thing everybody knows who's running government or, leaders in business, is that nothing drives the economy more than new construction.
Yep.
I mean, new homes being built and bought and moved into, then they get into the house and they buy a new car. They do all the landscaping.
Appliances,
they get drapes,
the whole deal.
appliances,
Furniture.
Right, yeah.
Massive market movers.
Massive impact on the economy. And so one thing that is, if we can't get there right now, like rates, it would help a lot if rates fell in our industry. Whether or not they will, we don't know. But those things are always going to be a focus of any administration, this one or the next, because it drives the economy so much. And so we're bullish on 27. We hope that things would be a whole lot better than 24 and 25.
Yeah.
26 may end up okay at the second half, but that's important to know. It's really important that housing does well.
Yeah.
For the whole economy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and especially for our industry, just because we are quote unquote in real estate industry. I think they lump us. Now you might be lumped into the builder world, but even then, from a lender perspective, I still think of all of us, we're all in real estate as an industry, because it's people buying and selling. It's the accessory businesses that the lenders, the title companies, the insurance, it's all of us combined.
Correct.
That put families in homes. Whether you build them, move them, whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
And what are your gurus in the lending business say 27 will be like?
Probably more of the same. Yeah, I mean,
similar to
the back half of this year, we really don't think rates are going to go up. We think they're just going to stay where they are. The question is with oil going down, inflation should come down, which will change the overall thought process of what they're saying right now. Problem is they just look a month at a time, right? Or year over year.
Right.
So, now we've got to wait for all these new sets of numbers to come out through the rest of the year.
Yeah. And they're going to stay high because we were still in the same situation.
Yeah. So we're 2 months away from seeing,
managing through the rearview mirror.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which to me seems a little asinine in the sense that, hey, oil today is this. Why do we care what it was a month ago? Why are we making decisions on that? Right. That's in the past. But
I'd vote for you if you run for office. I'd vote for you.
Not now, not ever, never. I'm never gonna run for office. Oh, that's wild. Okay, give us one thing that no one knows about Highland Homes is from the public perspective. Maybe it's about the family that owns it. I know you were a big fan of the family. You and I have talked about that. Just so you all know, Don and I met at a casino party, industry related. I won't say where the company and everything, but it was industry related. And I think you came in with some of your salespeople were friends of mine.
Right.
One of mine used to be a neighbor.
That's
and
right.
we just started talking. They introduced me to Don, and then Don and I have had lunch. We see each other at events all the time. We were just at a class last week. But we just talk. Number one, he plays music, I play music. He plays guitar, I play guitar. And then, just faith, family, our industries that we're in. So we have a lot of synchronicity.
Yeah,
Is that
that's a good word?
Yeah.
I like that.
So in the world, back to my thought process of what's one thing like no one really knows about Highlands that maybe the Highlands family would love to put out there as a thought process. What's something unique? It's like not that we're nice and we do a great job and we build a good home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
What's something unique that no one knows that you'd go, this is really cool because no one knows it?
Right.
Is that fair?
Yeah, it's very good. So in the early days of Highland, when I don't know exactly how old the company was, but it was still very young. And Rod Sanders, Gina and Brock, brother and sister, they had started the company and they were going along. And they had they're building a good amount of houses, nothing like where we are now, right?
Yeah.
Still a younger company. And they put a bunch of windows in the houses. The window vendor that we had hired to to provide all the windows. Well, the windows were defective. And then so the window company either like went bankrupt or just refused to take care of it or whatever. It was almost kind of like a God moment because Rod said, look, we have to fix these windows.
Yeah.
So they went back and to every single house that had those windows, knocked on the door, the warranty, this is before old days, but the and spray tested every one of the windows to make sure, and if they were defective, they would replace them. They replaced them. And it was really hard because it could have bankrupted them.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have the money to just go do this.
What year was this? Like,
it had to be like, this had to be in the 80s.
Okay.
And so, and it was probably more of an entry-level starter home at that point that we were talking about.
Yeah.
But they made the decision to do it, and they did it.
Okay.
And it's weird. It's like always, the reason I say it's kind of a government is it was shortly after that the company just took off. It was like that was a high price to pay, and it was interesting right after that. Same kind of mindset. They loved this kind of this culture that they developed. And so they watched it. Darling was a private builder, a lot like Highland, over about a decade ago. And Darling was purchased by a big national publicly held company, home builder. And within 2 years, they completely just they changed everything. They just dismantled.
They managed
everything about it.
They managed to a stock price.
And that really cool other private builder, Darling Homes, was like whatever it was gone. And it was just incorporated into the new publicly held mindset and management style. And Rod and Jean Ann said, we can't do this to our company. They wanted our company. And so that was like in 2015, they sold it to the employees.
So it's an ESOP?
It's an ESOP. So they decided to sell it to the employees, 100% employee-owned ESOP. And that started in 2015. And so that's been 11 years now.
That's cool.
And they're still present. Figurehead, like we call it the Queen,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Prime Minister's running the company, but Queen Jean Ann.
You still got the visionary.
Yeah, but
maybe one day I'll meet him. Maybe
it's deep. It's a deep culture, and so. But that's really a cool thing as far as just doing the right thing for customers and then doing the right thing for the employee.
Okay, very cool. Well, sometimes the Lord blesses when you make the right decision. Companies, people, families. It's just that's kind of a universal law.
I don't think
that's what I believe.
Yeah.
All right, so let me switch gears on you a little bit.
Okay.
Let's focus on Dawn for a minute. All right, tell us one thing about Dawn that we don't know. Give me one bizarre fact. I'm putting you on the spot. He does not know that this question is here, but I like to sometimes I'll just ask this question just for fun. And just to see, what people say, because people always have lots of fun things to tell about themselves. The question is, will they tell you? That's the question. Like, I've got a bunch of stupid things I've done in life. Like, I can tell you all kinds of dumb things for hours, but I've made a lot of poor decisions, so I've got lots of things to say,
Yeah, I mean, people should write a book about, like, how not to do it, right?
Yeah, I could write that book.
Avoid. But, no, that's a hard one. But I don't know. I rode a little bitty motorcycle around when I was a kid,
Okay.
I don't think I ever had to get a ride from my parents for anything. Rain, snow, whatever it was, just jumped on the motorcycle and drove all around my little hometown of Los Alamos, New Mexico, which was only 15,000 people up in the mountains of northern New Mexico. But
where Oppenheimer in the movie?
That's exactly right.
That is a beautiful place. I've been there.
Los Alamos is beautiful.
We go through there when we go elk hunting in Chalma.
It's like 8,000 feet above sea level.
It is beautiful there.
The town is, and then the mountain goes up to about 12 behind it.
But that's super cool.
So when that's where I graduated from high school. That's where I grew up, and we could get in my Volkswagen Beetle and be on the chairlift in the ski slope. They had its own little private ski hill for all the scientists, and be from the house to the ski lift in 15 minutes, and I just skied all the time. It was really, really fun. But so I didn't have a motorcycle for a long time, and then one day I was just like thinking, I got to get a bike, and I went and bought the biggest Harley I could find. Are
you a Harley guy?
I got a nice Harley Fat Boy 1400, and it's just
I would have never guessed that.
No shield, just love to ride that motorcycle.
That just shows you whenever we're together talking about business and family, he's never told me this. Yeah. When did you do this?
It was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so I don't need a therapist because I got a Harley.
You just ride. Yeah. All right. Well, I think when you bought yours, I think that was probably about the time that I sold my last one.
Yeah. So what did you have?
The last one was a vintage 73 Yamaha 550 that I redid.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a rattle trap. I mean, it was fun to ride, but the vibration coming off that old bike, and by the time you get off of it, like your hands were going numb. I was like, good Lord, like you riding this thing more than 20 miles, you can forget it. I'm not interested. Yeah. If we're all going to ride, we're going to ride Gold Wings if we want comfort, Yeah. Harleys, they sound good, they look good, but, if we're going to ride for comfort.
Yeah, I don't have the old man bike yet, but I need it.
Yeah.
Because I'm already an old man, so I should get one.
Oh, what are you, about 29?
Yeah, right on the money.
Yeah. Okay, now something I do know about, and I do know you're passionate about this, and I would like to cover this before we call our time, because we are running out of time. You have a daughter.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
3 girls.
3 girls.
All adults, right?
All adults, yeah. And one of your daughters was attacked.
Yes.
Okay. And that turned into a nonprofit. Can we cover that as gently or as tactfully or whatever you want to say? But I do think it's worth mentioning because that any exposure that somebody may hear on their heart and go, I would love to give to something like that. I think it's worthy because you've done a lot of stuff with the city of Fort Worth.
Yes.
And regarding this issue. So correct. Could you walk us through, we got about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
is that okay?
Yeah. Thanks for letting me share about that because it has been pretty much the main thing that we've been trying to accomplish in the last 4 years or so.
Yeah.
But so my daughter lived in an apartment along the Trinity Trail in a really nice part of Fort Worth. It's near Clear Fork. Okay. Where the Neiman Marcus is over there.
High-end.
Real high-end home. So she would walk her apartment like back to that. So she'd get on the trail and she'd probably walked 2 years straight almost every day, like for an hour walk on that trail, right? And one hot Saturday afternoon in September, I got there's that time where there's a before and after. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. These things that happen to you, it's like a before and after, and everything's different after that happens. And I remember I was at work. I was selling at that time for Highland in 2017, and I got a call, and my other daughter said, hey, Jessica's been attacked. We don't know where she is. She called 911, and I said, I'm getting in the car and I'm heading towards her apartment. So I started driving towards her apartment. I was in an Aledo that afternoon and went into, I don't know, we didn't know. You can imagine the thoughts that went through my head.
You don't know. I mean, you're a father, you got daughters.
And so
you just
I
don't
was
know.
thinking I'll probably never see her again. She's probably in some basement somewhere. I don't know what.
Yeah.
And
worst nightmare.
You're thinking that.
Yeah.
And then I got a call. My phone rang and I answered it. I didn't know who it was, unknown number. And she says, hey, is this Don? I said, this is Don. Yeah, Arnold. And I said, she goes, I have your daughter here. She's okay, but I just want you to be prepared, okay? Because it's not good.
Is this a cop?
No, this is a neighbor. So
a neighbor.
Yeah.
Okay, so she made it back to her
where
home.
She got attacked. No. Let me finish that.
Okay,
so let me. But I got that call and it was like such terrible news. She said, I think her eye socket's shattered, it's broken, and she's just a mess. I said, but it was such good news because I thought I might not ever even see her again, right?
Yeah. All you can think of, she was alive, and
So I was like,
see
oh,
her.
thank God she's alive. Yeah. And so I got there about the same time as the ambulance got there. She had so she was walking on the trail. A guy circled her in the bike. She called 911. He was on a bike. He rode up behind her and knocked her to the ground while he was on his bike, and then he literally tried to beat her to death. Just Lake and Riley was just pummeled, blunt force killed. Everybody knows about her recently, and this guy tried to kill my daughter. And she, another guy must have been on the other side of the trail, and so he let her go because I think he realized someone might be coming.
Could see him.
Yeah, and so she ran into the neighborhood, started knocking on doors, trying to get someone. No one would open the door. Finally, the adrenaline must have been just like off the charts. This lady helped her, and then the cops came, and we spent all night with the forensic nurses at the hospital, and brought her home about 5 o'clock the next morning, and just huddled around her on the bed there, and around her bed, and it was just so glad that she was alive, but it was just horrific what he had done to her. And she's never been the same. She still struggles all the time with all sorts of pain in her neck and just PTSD stuff and things like that. So this was like a real dark passage in our life. Like it was a real lonely kind of strange place to be for about 5 years. And then another girl got hurt on the trail that Jessica knew, like a friend of her friend. Not the same guy, but somebody else got hurt on the trail. And she says, Dad, she came and said, Dad, we've got to do something. They still haven't done anything to make the trail safer, right? Because the cops had said they were going to try to do some stuff. And she goes, we need to do something. And so we started, she finally had the courage. She had never told anyone her story. She was real quiet about it, real isolated about it. And then she's, how do you call that? Anonymous. Like the police protect her. Nobody knew it was her.
Okay.
They knew the guy.
Because they didn't want the name.
The stories,
but
they protect the law. They protect the assault victims.
Yeah.
And so she was an anonymous person, but she said, we've got to do something. So she'd made the decision, I'm gonna tell the story, and we're gonna try to start getting a section of the trail where a girl can go park at a parking lot at a trailhead, get on the trail, and maybe for like a 2-mile section or something, that they just know they're going to be safe. It's like cameras and more police protection.
Lights.
So we started advocating for that, and that was 4 years ago. So it was well after she had been hurt, and one day she finally said, somebody else got hurt, and motivated her, we got to do something. And so we've met with the real-time crime center for the Fort Worth Police. That's where they actually have humans in a place, and they're monitoring their cameras, and they can immediately dispatch. It's real time. It's a surveillance real time for the police department's cameras. But they didn't have anything on the trail. And the Trinity.
And I'm assuming predators and bad people know this. Like they know where there's blind spots and there's nobody coming. They can see. They're looking for people in those areas to attack if they're going to do something.
Right. And like my daughter, everybody has a false sense of security.
Yeah. Got the earbuds in, running down the trail.
And like there's a lot of people on the trail. No reason to be scared. It's not. And so she. Like as a result of that, we're on the happy side of it now, right?
Yeah.
We're on like giving back, doing something from this tragedy that just to make it safer for other girls that are walking along the trail and need to be safe, or maybe other people. Maybe it's not a girl, just somebody who needs protection because they're not going to be able to protect themselves.
Sure.
And she said, I did all the right things. I did all that stuff. None of it worked. She didn't want to carry a gun, right?
Sure.
But I think. It's been so exciting because there's been a lot of support for it. A lot of people are interested in it. So 4 years ago, we were just trying to find somebody, could we do something? It's really hard to work with government, especially different entities like the Trinity River Water District, TRWD, is different than the police. They have all these inner things. But I felt like, have you ever seen The Lord of the Rings?
Sure.
Yeah, like the little Frodo goes and destroys. But I felt like a little Frodo guy, like we're just trying to get something done. We didn't know what we were doing.
And where do you start? Like you just start somewhere.
But we
start
just,
with a phone call.
But we just kept going. And now they just announced a 3.9 mile loop on the Trinity Trail in Fort Worth, very close to right where she got hurt, and all because we asked. I mean,
Because
we
y'all
went
been
and we met with
pursuing
these
this with
leaders,
different people.
and then we raised money, and we had like $35,000. We gave the first 2 poles, the smart poles that have the cameras and that can talk back to the real-time crime center, and we did all that, and it just primed the pump, and we're continuing to do it. We're continuing to do the surveillance end of that. Those trails, every post that they put on with a camera, smart cameras, it costs, when you run the power to it, it's about $25,000. And so we do a golf tournament once a year. We usually raise about $25,000. We're going to have one October 22nd here in Fort Worth. And so I'll give you the QR code if you want to put it on the screen.
We'll do that.
But if they want to help, it's such a cool thing because it's 100%. Every single penny we do goes right back to just making the trails safe.
You don't make your money on the nonprofit.
It's it's 100% volunteer, and the city. We have a great partnership with TRWD, and every dollar we raise goes to make that trail safer on that one strip. So you get out of your car in a safe spot, have a safe walk. And
or run, you can run to and from.
And I think
ladies can exercise and with a little more peace of mind, and you got real time surveillance happening from the police.
Yeah, and Jessica has really blossomed, my daughter, because she, she tells the story now. Like she's trying to make something better. So it's been a great redemptive journey that we've been on, and we're doing a lot of good. I think she's doing, her tragedy is creating a lot of good for many people that are out there on the trails.
That's awesome. It's always good and fun and feels good when people take a tragedy and they turn it into something that is positive. They get on the other side of it. They get out from the pain, and that helps them also get through that pain, because now they're able to take that tragedy and turn it into a purpose.
100%.
Right?
Very well said. That's exactly what happened with her.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Well, Dawn, we truly appreciate you being here. Thank you for telling her story. And maybe one day I'll get to meet her and be able to expound on that, because I would love to hear her side of it too, because I'm sure she's probably a little more passionate about it, in the sense that here's what happened to me. And, because when the victims tell that story and they relay it at a very different level, right? And you going through that. I've talked to different victims about different things, doing a bunch of, nonprofit stuff. And it's always a little more eye-opening, when the victim's going through their process,
100%.
Okay, well, Dawn, thank you for being here with us. We truly appreciate it. We got to learn about Highland Homes. We got to learn about you. We got to learn about what your daughter went through and what you are doing with the city of Fort Worth and the Tarrant Water District.
TRWD,
TRWD. So, you would never know that the guy who's running a chunk of Highland Homes is over here working with TRWD trying to get the trails better because of what happened to his daughter, So that's what podcasts are for. That's what interviews are for, things like that. And what you also don't know is that he's a music guy. He plays guitar and writes songs, and maybe one day he'll come back on and do that for us. I think he's recorded stuff before, but, maybe one day he'll let us know. I'm not sure.
Well,
and he rides a Harley.
Maybe we'll do a duo, a duet.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I don't know if I've been playing that long. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. It's just having fun people on to talk and to be able to dive into the real estate world, because, there's a lot of agents and people that would love to sit down with Don Arnold and have a discussion. They just don't get to, So now was your time. So hope you all enjoyed being here with us. Welcome to the Real Estate Roller Coaster podcast. We try to have a little fun and talk industry, but hope you learned something, and we will catch you next week.